Hey everyone, I'm Ellen here at etrailer.com, and we're going to be taking a look at the Air Lift LoadLifter 5000 air helper springs. So these are going to be a great addition to your vehicle to help balance out your vehicle while you're towing. A lot of times whenever you put a lot of weight on the back end of your truck, it can cause some issues for safety and also the handling of your vehicle, either if you're using a hitch mounted accessory or putting a load into the truck bed itself, using a fifth wheel camper, any of those towing needs, these are going to help to alleviate a lot of those issues. So whenever we drop down that back end, it can put more undue stress on our OEM suspension components. Our front end comes up and now our steering geometry is not quite right. Our front tires aren't really making the same sort of connection with the road, and that can also affect our braking ability. So it's just not the most comfortable thing. Using these allows you to bring everything back to the factory ride height, so everything should handle just the same as whenever you're not towing at all. You really shouldn't even notice if there's any change in your vehicle, and it also helps to support your OEM suspension so that it can last longer, and it just helps to spread that weight out over another component. So this kit is going to come with everything you see laid out on the table here. This is a fit for the 2002 through 2008 Dodge Ram pickup 1500, so this should be a great addition for that. The nice thing about it is that there's no cutting or splicing required. You just need to remove the factory jounce bumper from either side, put these guys up in its place, and then you're good to go. Now the bags themselves are going to be made out of a durable 2-ply fabric reinforced rubber, so that they're going to stay nice and supple for many years but still give you that load leveling and road cushioning capacity that you've come to expect. On the inside, it does have an internal jounce bumper, and that's usually a thing to have if you're going to be towing a lot and there's always going to be air in the bags. That internal jounce bumper is kind of a secondary or a fail-safe mechanism. Some folks don't like the internal jounce bumper if they don't have air in the bags all the time. Sometimes it can engage a little bit too quickly. So I would say that this kit is going to be for somebody who's going to be towing all the time. They're always going to have a load on the bags, and they want to have that secondary fail-safe system in there. If you don't, this kit is also available for the same specs and everything, fits the same year, but it just doesn't have that internal jounce bumper, so that's something to maybe look into if you're only going to be doing occasional towing. So it's kind of up to you there on how you're going to use these guys. Air Lift is a very respected name in the towing industry. They definitely make a good product. Compared to the Firestone bags, they're usually about neck and neck. The one thing that I do like with the Firestones over the Air Lift is that they have a roll crimp to the top of the bag, and that just holds really nice and tightly. Have a little bit less issues with those, and you don't really have to worry about disconnecting the airbags if you go to do any kind of maintenance and you want to let the axle hang. Might not be an issue for some folks if you never really have to worry about that. If you don't do any maintenance on your truck yourself, it shouldn't be something that really causes that big of an issue. The Air Lifts, like I said, they're still going to do a great job for you. It's just one thing about the Firestones that I do like a little bit better. As far as accessories to go with these, you can get an air compressor, which is not a bad idea, especially if you're going to be using these all the time. It is an investment monetarily. Compressors are just expensive. Just no way around that. But if you're going to be using these a lot, or you're going to be using these for work, you're always going to be towing, you're always hauling something in the back of your truck, having that compressor on board just makes life a lot easier. You don't have to find a place to air up the bags or check your pressure all the time. You can just flip a switch, lift, air them up, drop them down as needed, and it makes things just simpler and quicker for you. We do have several different options for those. You can get them wired or wireless. You can get them as a dual pass or a single pass, which basically just means if they're a single pass, it merges the two bags together so they just lift as one. If it's a dual pass, it keeps the independent side to side, so you can make any adjustments from front to back and side to side. That's really only handy if you're going to have any off-centered loads, if you've got a lot of toolboxes in the back of your truck, if it's a work truck and you're just trying to get an offset for that weight that you've added. That can be a nice thing to have, that independence, but it just kind of, again, depends on your application and what you're going to be using this for. So just want to give you a rundown of a couple options that you can get with these bags. But let's take a little closer look at them, and you can see how that design works. It is double convoluted, so that just means that it's basically split into almost two sections. That helps it to keep it from spreading out and causing any issues with contact with your wheel or other suspension components, so it stays nice and compact as that air spring travels. It does come with everything laid on the table, so we'll also get a heat shield for our passenger side for our exhaust, all the hardware to get everything attached. Your Schrader valves are already going to be installed on the end of that 1/4-inch air line, so you can mount that anywhere that's handy to get that manual inflation valve or get access to that manual inflation valve to fill the bags manually. As far as the load leveling capacity, they are rated for up to 5,000 pounds of weight. Now, the important thing to keep in mind with that number is that that's just there to help support that amount of weight. It doesn't increase the payload of your vehicle overall. If you think of it kind of in weightlifting terms, it doesn't help you lift more weight, it just helps you lift it more effectively. So helps you do more reps rather than higher max. That's kind of the best analogy that I've come up with on how to explain that, but keep in mind it again does not increase your payload for your Dodge truck. The pressure needs to be at least 5 pounds of pressure in the bags at all times to make sure that they don't wear improperly or they don't get damaged as you're going down the road. That pressure can go all the way up to 100 psi, so between 5 and 100 psi. It is covered by a 60-day satisfaction guarantee and a lifetime warranty. They are made in the USA, and that's about all there is to it for our look at the Air Lift LoadLifter 5000 Ultimate Air Helper Springs. I hope this video has been helpful in deciding if these are the right bags for you. Again, I'm Ellen here at etrailer.com. Thanks for watching.